Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, Internet's busiest music nerd. Internet's chocolatiest music nerd, honestly. Um, Yum. We're talking about pop star extraordinaire Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa, Dua Lipa. She had a really fantastic record that dropped a few years ago that I enjoyed quite a bit myself, even though personally, I was not really a big fan of her debut. In fact, I thought the debut was quite overrated, but Future Nostalgia had so many incredible tracks on it. A few snoozers here and there, especially toward the end, but lots of incredible cuts. Now, Levitating, which, as many of you know, is one of the biggest tracks, one of the biggest singles off the LP, has been on the Billboard charts, has steadily remained on the Billboard charts for well over a year. It's that hot of a fucking song. Dozens and dozens of weeks on the Billboard charts. Now it is, God, how many years has it been at this point since that song dropped? 2020. So it's been a couple of years. The record dropped toward I believe, were the lockdowns ramping up? Yeah, it was March. Wow. God, everything pre-pandemic feels like so long ago at this point for whatever reason. But yeah, that song is still, like, for a lot of people, in very heavy rotation. And it's understandable because it's just like a really generally good, fun, groovy pop song that feels modern, but also has a somewhat of a almost throwback, soulful kind of disco feel to it at points. But Levitating, great track. But it's been a couple of years again since that record came out, and it's been recently that Dua is getting some copyright infringement lawsuits for the track. One happened recently through a reggae band by the name of Article Sound System. That was the most recent suit that I've been reading about, but haven't, dived too deeply into. Will in a few seconds. And there's another one mentioned in this article that we're about to listen to as well. So here we go. The first of these lawsuits, filed March 1st by a Florida reggae group called Article Sound System, claiming that Lipa's song lifts from their relatively obscure 2017 track, Live Your Life. That complaint includes a little specific detail beyond claiming that the two tracks are so similar that it was highly unlikely that Levitating was created independently. So that is the claim there. Now, in a way, if that track were to be inspired by another song or lifted ideas from another song, I couldn't be too surprised because there are other tracks on this LP that do have either co-songwriting credits or there's like a song or an idea that's sampled from another song. Obviously Dua and her producers on this record in terms of like pop music and underground music had definitely done their homework and, very ingeniously incorporated certain song ideas from other tracks, legally, mind you, on other songs of the record. So the idea that there may have been a song idea or a sample or an interpolation from another track that didn't get credited on, a different song on the album isn't too surprising because the record pretty much wears its influences in a lot of respects on its sleeve. So here we go. In the second of the two lawsuits, a more detailed legal complaint filed on March 4th for the same song over the same track. In New York, songwriters L. Russell Brown and Sandy Linzer accused Lipa of copying both their 1979 song Wiggle and Giggle All Night and 1980 song Don Diablo, two tracks dating from the disco era. The pair claimed to openly claim the opening melody to Levitating was a duplicate Dua Lipa kit. Sorry, that's a corny ass joke. But the melody of their songs, there is some similarity in the rhythmic delivery of the opening phrases and the verses before the melodies diverge. Brown and Linzer's attorneys claim that the segment of the melody in question played a major role in the song's success on TikTok and the related chart success. All right, so let's give a listen to the track. Obviously, we've heard the song a million times, I would hope, but let's just familiarize ourselves with the Dua cut, levitating, just again to hear it one more time. Just he's not a part of the lawsuit. All right. So here we have Article Sound Systems page here on SoundCloud, which is probably getting a lot more attention than it used to as of late. Just 343 followers right now. Let me see. 5 days ago. Looks like 5 days ago. Okay, so has this lawsuit, has this claim? Looks like this claim has lined up quite nicely with the release of a new album. Looks like they sued Dua Lipa just in time to drop their new full-length LP. That's good. That's a little bit of that's a good old marketing trick. It's a good marketing trick. Hey, you know what? Before your record drops, get a fat lawsuit in against one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. Sorry, I clicked onto this page assuming that the song in question would pop right up. Live Your Life. I do have it here on the page, but I just want to see like how far I might need to kind of dig through here to find the track in question. A year ago, Come On Over, Time EP. A year ago. It says it's from 2017. Here we go. Okay, so this is like, what is this? The song that you're suing for is the oldest song and the last song. It says '03. Isn't it a part of like a bigger record or something? That does seem. I mean, it says 5 years ago, so I assume that is the case. Release date March 2017. Josh Baker, 23 seconds, 6 hours ago. How far back do the comments on this thing date? Can I organize by oldest comment? Because I'm just like trying to see how long has, like, when was the first person to say anything about this track? Because even again, it's like, even now with the lawsuit, they only have 300 followers on their page. You could probably guarantee that at least 100 or 200 of those followers have only come as a result of the attention that has arrived due to the lawsuit. I'm just trying to like think here of what is the likelihood of Dua Lipa or someone working with Dua Lipa, okay, having heard the song either 5 years ago or at some point, since then, and was like, I'm copying that shit. If there was discredits them completely. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't say they're discredited completely, but you do have to look through this stuff as thoroughly as you can to kind of like verify the likelihood. Because I mean, look, here's the thing. Like, if we're looking back at this, Live Your Life, that complaint includes a little specific detail claiming the two tracks are so similar that it was highly unlikely that Levitating was created independently. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of like lawsuits and songwriter credits that get handed over to certain artists, not because a claim is being made that like he heard the song and he copied it. No, it's just that it's similar as fuck, and it's so goddamn similar. Like, there needs to be some kind of credit here because, like, this person whose song it is so similar to has a copyright, and what they're doing here is making a claim that it's like it's highly unlikely that they didn't copy it. So I'm trying to think of here, like, what is the likelihood that the track was listened to by Dua or somebody working with Dua, and like how long ago would this person have had to hear it? to kind of look here, Dua Lipa levitating wiki. Levitating song. Who's producing on this track? Just to remind myself, Clarence Coffey Jr., Sarah Hudson, Stephen Kosmeniuk. And we have DaBaby's credited on the track, or here's Stephen and Stuart Price. So there's the writers, and here's the producers, so Stephen and Stuart Price. So again, either of these guys, the likelihood of either of these guys having heard that song, or Dua having heard the song and being like, yeah, I'm copying the shit out of this shit. I'm just trying to think of like, what is the likelihood of that, given that, again, that is the claim. I'm scrolling as far down as I can, but it's not letting me see any more comments. And like, the comments kind of stop at 6 days ago, but I imagine like there's not an older comment on this thing. That's at least like a year old or anything. I mean, there's gotta be, no, there isn't a comment on this thing that's like a year old. There's some kind of like proof of engagement that this thing has been listened to beyond the point of Dua Lipa, getting sued for the track. I mean, I guess I can't be surprised given that we're talking about a SoundCloud page that has only 300 fucking followers on it. But let's give a listen to the track and see how similar it is to the Dua Lipa song. Ba-bam. All right. I think it's pretty clear what is the part that's so similar. I told you guys, I fucking ate this whole shit. Evolved chocolate. All right. So, I mean, here's the thing. Like, in my opinion, generally, there's just too many lawsuits flying around in terms of like copyright infringement, similarity, this, that, and the other thing, especially like since the Blurred Lines lawsuit, where it's like, the similarity between that and the Marvin Gaye track was just like kind of a groove. It was kind of a vibe, and really that was it. Like whenever a suit is based on nothing but that, or even just like a simple chord progression, I'm skeptical as fuck. I'm just not into it, because like you can't just own a groove. You can't just own an instrumental palette. You can't just own a chord progression. That's totally bullshit. This is not a super original chord progression. It's really not a super original chord progression at all. Adam Neely recently did a video about this whole thing where he, brought up an Outkast track that basically works over the same goddamn chord progression. This is not a super fucking like, galaxy brain chord progression that's being pulled out of the mud here. But with that being said, that chord progression with that chord progression with that melody line, I think that is going to be a little bit of a nail in the coffin. And look, it would be so even if they didn't have any kind of like hardcore proof that it's like, yeah, they definitely heard our song and copied us. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I mean, either way, the similarities are there, and you have the copyright of the track, I imagine. The issue is with like smaller groups like this, they often won't engage in these kinds of suits because they're a smaller group and they don't have any representation, and they don't have the tens of thousands of dollars that they may need to move through court and like really sue Dua Lipa and her label. Because, even though this is a Dua Lipa suit, like ultimately with, her label owning the copyright to her music, that's who they're going to be seeing in court. It is a Dua Lipa suit, but ultimately this is going to be between this band and Dua's label. Dua's not going to, unless it's like a court case, and they really like try to verify, when she or somebody else may have heard the song. Like, we're not going to see Dua on the fucking stand over this court case. This is not where this is going to go. If it goes anywhere, they're probably going to settle. They're probably going to get some kind of like, songwriting credit or whatever. And they're either going to get a share of the streaming royalties for the track and maybe like additionally some back pay for all the streams the song has seen so far. But again, I'm really not into the idea of like suing over a groove, a palette, a vibe, an aesthetic, a chord progression. It's not enough. But the chord progression with the groove here and that vocal melody line, it's too many elements. It's too many elements coming together. Like you really got to take more of an LCD sound system approach with it. Like James Murphy literally goes into the studio and rips his favorite records off unabashedly. But when he does it, he's like, I'm going to grab this one single isolated idea. I'm not grabbing like three ideas coalescing at once in a single section of a song and bam, going from there. It's just like a simple little drum beat. It's a weird analog synth patch. It's a this, it's a that. It's a one single isolated element and then working off that. This is too many similar elements coming together in one moment. I mean, as of right now, I think it's still very unlikely that Dua or one of her producers like heard this track on this obscure ass SoundCloud page and was like, I gotta rip this shit off. I don't know about that. I really don't know, especially since, again, this is not the most unique chord progression in the world. If you gave this chord progression to a number of people, what is the likelihood that eventually someone would, just on accident, come up with, some melody line that is somewhat similar? I think it's likely, assuming that, again, like this is all on the up and up and this was really uploaded 5 years ago, but where is like the rest of the record that this was a part of? And I would have liked to have seen some kind of commentary on this whole thing that predates, the discussion and the posting about this whole suit and everything. But look, as of right now, I think if this band really has like the lawyer power and the money to drag this into a courtroom, not that they would necessarily need to, but Dua and her label would need to feel as if the threat of that is actually there. Because look, I mean, I don't think you would need to sell a jury too hard on the fact that these two fucking things sound similar. And then beyond that, like show them, and this song came out before this song. Like your average jury member doesn't know fucking about SoundCloud, Spotify, streaming, money, how relevant something is or isn't, how people get access to or get exposed to certain things on the internet. All you would need to do is show them on the stand, these two songs sound similar. This one came out before this one. And your average person's gonna be like, yeah, guilty. So, it would be very difficult, I think, for Dua and her label to fight against this if the band actually has the resources to drag this into court, which, given the money that is at stake here, they could potentially just like be throwing everything that they have at it, just to potentially get like, a taste of this record. And look, lawsuits like this have gone, in the plaintiff's favor over tracks that sound way fucking less similar than these two songs do at this specific point with the chord progression and that vocal melody line. So let's continue here a little bit further because, again, in the wake of this, there's been some other lawsuits as well. Again, kind of going over the info one more time. Songwriters L. Russell Brown and Sandy Linzer accused Lipa of copying both their 1979 song Wiggle and Giggle All Night and 1980 song Don Diablo, tracks from the disco era. Okay, I mean, let's hear what exactly makes these songs so similar to Levitating. Maybe it'll pop up instantly. Maybe it'll take a minute to kind of get into the groove. I guess we'll see. This is fucking this is awful. What the fuck? This is trash. The fuck is this shit? Okay. Now look, in a funny way, I'm trying to refresh my memory here. What is that obscure ass pop song that one track off this record? Like, look, here's the thing. Like, that track does sample like from some weird ass, like, dancey pop shit from that era. Like something like Dua and her producers borrowing from something like this makes more sense, even though this sounds nothing like the fucking song. It makes more sense to me conceptually than, hey, I'm going to steal an idea from some random fucking SoundCloud song that nobody's ever fucking heard of. But like, is there a part where it sounds a little more like it? Okay, so are they saying like the flow on her vocals? No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's fucking stupid. No, that's trash. That's dumb. No, like not only is it not that similar, but like it's not even the same fucking melody. Like it obviously, like there's a somewhat of a similarity there in terms of like the rhythmic flow of the vocals, but like fuck you. Are you kidding me? That's trash. That's dumb. That's stupid. No, absolutely not. No. Go to jail. Go to jail. You should go to jail for suing over this kind of bullshit. That's stupid. No. Like, you know, even if that is something that was borrowed, you can't sue over that fucking shit. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, if that was the kind of shit that you could sue over, hip hop would be done tomorrow. You'd never hear a new hip hop record ever again. Because how many fucking flows is everybody doing all the time that's like fucking borrowed as fuck? Everybody's flow is fucking borrowed. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And even when you do have an artist that comes out that is entirely original, when they do hit, like they then spawn off a bunch of artists who, you know, copy their shit and then do their own thing with it. Are you kidding me? No. Over that little flow? Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Trash. Let's listen to this Don Diablo track and see what similarity there is. No, get the hell out of here. Like, you know, at this point, even though I think pulling from something like this for Dua and her producers is more likely, like there's way more similarity, you know, with the freaking you know, Article sound system track. All right, let's hear Don Diablo and see what's up with this one. Wait, time out. Again, it's another thing with the similarity of the flow. But the thing is, like, as far as Latin music goes, that's not even an original fucking flow. Like, there's dozens of fucking songs that have that same fucking flow. As far as, like, the grander scheme of Latin music, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that is completely, like, a copied fucking flow from so many fucking like other songs, again, within South American music generally. Fuck you. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. Like, I feel like such an idiot right now because I'm not, and I know there are people out there who are, I'm not well versed enough in it to tell you the classic songs that have that exact fucking same vocal line. I can't tell you the reference points because I'm not familiar enough with them. But no, it's not that, Bakos. It's not that. But I don't know the reference points myself. But like I've heard that same goddamn vocal line before. Obviously not in this track because I haven't heard this track before. But this is not an original vocal line. This is absolutely not an original vocal line at all. But that's absolutely not an original vocal line. So the idea that you could sue over this as if you invented this vocal line and Dua Lipa is ripping it off, is bullshit. He's from Spain. Oh, okay. But I mean, again, it's like I've heard South American music that borrows from the same vocal line as well. I'm trying to think of like, God, I'm trying to think of a fucking song. It's like, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's in my brain. I can't say it. I just don't have it. I apologize. Why do you guys keep saying Hey Macarena? It's definitely, it's not Hey Macarena. I mean, obviously, like it hits a similar speed, but it's not the same flow. It's not the same flow. Stop saying "Hey Macarena." But again, like this is not an original flow. This is not an original flow. You guys are even though I do feel sad that I don't have the reference point on the top of my head. At least I'm not in chat saying Mambo number 5. At least. But yeah, this is not an original flow on this track at all, as far as Latin music goes. And this over here, I feel like, the flows are somewhat similar, but like, even if it is a reference point, it's applied in such a vastly different way, that a suit over the whole thing would be totally stupid. I don't think you could have like, I don't think you would have an easy time like convincing a jury just on the mere fact that the songs themselves, the tunes sound nothing fucking alike. And get like, you know, a good chunk of change out of it. Honestly, I think this would be a real tough sell. Whereas like right out of the gate on this Article Sound System track, you know, the hottest and catchiest part of the Dua song is right there in the intro. It's the chords, it's the groove, it's the melody line. It's funny because like out of these 3 tracks, I feel like this is the one with Dua and her producers that it's least likely that they probably heard it. They probably have not heard this obscure ass fucking SoundCloud track that nobody heard before this lawsuit. I think it's pretty unlikely that they heard it. I don't think it's likely that they heard it. I think it's more likely that they heard one of these 2 other tracks, honestly. But obviously, in my opinion, have not ripped off either of them to the point where I think a lawsuit is valid or sensible. But, you know, even though I do think in a way it is unlikely that they've heard this Article Sound System track, like, you know, parts of it are sort of a dead ringer. And for a court to hand you some song credits on a track, sometimes that's all you need. And again, enough resources to like go against the label. Because look, court is very expensive. Court is super fucking expensive. And, you know, if the label doesn't think that the band really has the money and the resources to go at them like that, or that their lawyers aren't willing to like really stick it out just to get like a chunk of whatever money comes out of the whole thing, they may just kind of ignore the whole thing. They may just ignore it. But you know, it is pretty convincing. It is pretty convincing. Maybe it'll be difficult building a story of like, this song was on SoundCloud at this time and they most definitely heard it, because obviously like there's no way you could fucking prove on Dua's side that like, what are you going to go through their internet history in 2017 and or sometime since and see who was browsing what songs on SoundCloud? Give me a fucking break. That's not going to happen. So, you know, it's probably going to be difficult if they even attempt to build some sort of narrative that like, oh, they definitely heard the track and they ripped it off. I think they're only going to really need to, if they have to, show a jury these 2 tracks and just be like, look, it sounds real damn similar, don't it? They probably ripped it off. And even though, again, it's not a very special, it's not a very unique chord progression, the average juries don't know what the fuck chord progressions are. They don't know any music theory. They don't listen to that much music. They don't know how sort of overused some chord progressions are and what the likelihood may be that over the course of hundreds of songs, because, you know, Sir Michael Rocks was saying earlier, 70,000 songs are uploaded to the fucking internet every day. Are you kidding me? Of course, there's probably tons of songs being uploaded that use this or a similar chord progression. After thousands and thousands of tracks, what's the likelihood that one of them is going to come up with a similar melody line over the same damn chords? Probably pretty likely. Especially since it's not some super complicated do-do, boo-boo-ba-do-do, do-do, do-do. It's catchy, but it's easy, you know? And that's not to hate on it or say anything bad about it. Hey, Hassan. Hey, Hassan Raiders. We're talking about the Dua Lipa Situation. talking about the Dua Lipa lawsuit. So if that's what you're interested in, stick around, although I am sort of on the tail end of the convo at this point right now. But, even if you're on the way out, hit us with a follow because, hey, we do great interviews, conversations, and New Music Fridays every week. So, yeah, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. Yeah, well, I forgot about that. Yeah, the Albanian connection there. There's probably a lot of Dua Lipa love, a lot of Dua Lipa love in the Hassan chat. So if Hassan's chat skews very pro Dua Lipa, I'm not that surprised. I'm not that surprised. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Darth Daddy Albanian. Yeah, shout out to Albania and Albanians in general. Albanians rule, man. I used to work with a lot of Albanians. They're cool. They're good people. They're great people. They have lots of spirit. They're just full of life and good-humored people. But yeah, we're talking about Dua Lipa. And yeah, I mean, again, to kind of sum things up, this article, Sound System Track, there is really kind of a deep similarity here, even though the elements going into both of these tracks are very simple. There is a deep similarity with the groove, the chord progression, and the vocal melody line all coming together. And I think if the band or their lawyers have the will, the energy, and the resources to drag Dua and her label into court, all they would really need to do is get a jury together that knows absolutely nothing about fucking music theory and just show them the two tracks and be like, this sounds like this, and this one came out before this one. Don't they sound similar? And for a lot of suits, that's really all you need to get some songwriting credits, unfortunately. It sucks, and it's bullshit, and it's dumb, and it's annoying. But honestly, with the way things have been going, especially since, again, the Blurred Lines suit, that's really kind of the low bar that we're operating at. It's the low bar that we're operating at. At this point, I feel like in order to get a chunk of change out of this, all Article Sound System needs is, again, some lawyers who are willing to go the distance, because do they themselves probably have tens of thousands of dollars in their pockets to drag this into court? No, probably not, especially with their 300 SoundCloud followers. But maybe they have lawyers on their side who are willing to do that. Because look, I mean, it does take thousands of dollars to file a lawsuit. It does take thousands of dollars to file a lawsuit. They may already have lawyers who are willing to go the distance for this for, an agreed percentage of whatever they get out of it. So, those them and those lawyers, they may be hungry, but as we were sort of seeing when we went on their SoundCloud page earlier, this lawsuit has lined up very nicely with the release of their brand new LP. Welcome to Florida. Oh my God. I can't get enough of this girl with the war paint on her face. She's overpaid for a few Coachella tickets. But yeah, this suit has lined up very nicely with the a release of their brand new LP, and maybe this is all that they really wanted. Maybe this is all that they really wanted. They wanted to drum up a lot of interests and a lot of conversation, just so that they could, we're suing Dua Lipa and our new album's coming out. So, maybe the suit won't go any further than this, because maybe this is all they were looking for, attention for their record. And, going back, I mean, the song that's, being sued over has hundreds of thousands of streams. And I guess what's sort of sad and unfortunate is those streams haven't really kind of translated into much play and attention on everything else on their page over here. I mean, I will say, going back and looking at their 2018 EP, I imagine a lot of these streams have to be from back during that time. I mean, look, some of these tracks have hundreds of plays. This one changes. has almost 2,000. I mean, I imagine a lot of these streams have to be original, given how much, the stream numbers are kind of dead on the rest of the tracks here. I mean, maybe, somebody did stumble upon this page a while ago and then went back and listened to some older tracks. I mean, I suppose it's maybe possible, but, painting a story like that, you're never going to have the facts in court. If you're going to get the jury to side with you, it's going to be on the similarities of the tracks. And, again, if the idea was to get people to stream this new record over here, it's not working out pretty good with 63 plays on this one over here, 48 plays on this one. So I don't know. Maybe the plan isn't. Maybe everything's not going according to plan. Thank you very much for watching this clip on TND Streams. To see more, subscribe to the channel and also click on the video link next to my head. Also, make sure to check out our other YouTube channels linked down below to see everything else we do week to week. And yeah, that's it. Anthony Fantano, forever.